Hey y'all, what is up? Keysby here. So this is going to be a little bit of a follow-up to my previous video about how you can out commonly played floodgates with weird plays using Floowandereeze. But first, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop it a like and subscribe to the channel for even more. And if you like the mat that you are seeing in this video, check the link in the description to get your own. So this is my bad. I mentioned that you can make a Nightmare Phoenix as an out to there can only be one in my previous video, but I did not explain how to get there without playing into there can only be one. So I'm gonna show you that really quickly in this video and then show you a few bonus plays that I alluded to in the previous video but didn't show because they get a little bit dependent on your opponent's setup. So let's get into the Nightmare Phoenix plays first. So for this setup, we need one Floowandereeze, a non-Floowandereeze hand trap, and I will show you how to do it with a second wing beast as well if you only have two. So let's do that one first. So we are going to fire off the effective map, reveal Rabina, banish the Eaglin, normal summon the Rabina. Now again, very important, we're going to decline Rabina's effect and we're going to decline Eaglin's effect because if we use either of them, we can no longer normal summon. So now we're stuck with one wing beast on field, one wing beast in hand. Can't do anything, right? Well, we can link this wing beast off and turn her into a Cyverse. So now, from here, we use our game mechanic normal summon to summon our second wing beast. And then, simply enough, we will link off into Nightmare Phoenix. Discard, blow up the there can only be one. Easy enough. And now, the other way we can do it, the significantly quicker and easier way, if you happen to have a Floowandereeze and a non-wing beast monster that we can normal summon, activate the effect map, normal summon, game mechanic normal summon, and link to, wrong way, into the Nightmare Phoenix. Again, completely my bad for just kind of like glancing over that in the previous video. I apologize, I'll try to be better about that in the future. So now, I want to show off a few ways this deck can make Accesscode Talker. So I didn't mention it in the previous video because some of these lines are kind of dependent on what your opponent has going on in their graveyard, but these are also very cool to know and they're good outs to something like a Geomathmech Final Sigma or just if you want to OTK out of nowhere. So again, for all these setups, you do need map to do it, and let's start it off. So let's assume that's our hand. We are going to activate Floowandereeze in the Magnificent Map. We'll banish the Eaglin, normal summon Rabina. Again, we're going to decline to use any of the effects. Then we will normal summon our effect veiler. So there's a few different ways this can go from here, depending on what's in your opponent's graveyard. If they happen to have a wind or water link too, we can actually use our respective charmers. We would have to have the correct Floowandereeze, like an Eaglin would work for wind, but Rabina will work for water. But the most common way we're going to do this is with dark. So we will convert one of these into a Link Karibo. So now we have a dark monster on the field, and we can summon the Dark Charmer Gloomy. So from here, our opponent would need to have a Dark Link 2 in graveyard, and then we could, so let's just say that's their Verte Anaconda, and we could go directly into Accesscode Talker from here. But let's just say, for example, they only have a Dark Monster, not a Link 2. We can still work with this, provided there are at least 3 spells either on the field or in the graveyard collectively. So what we would do from here is steal their Dark Monster. And now we're going to link off again. That'll go to their graveyard. Into Selene, Queen of the Master Magicians. So now she'll get her counters and we can activate her effect. We would get our Dark Charmer back since he is a spellcaster, and then link again into Accesscode Talker. So there's actually a few variations we can do on this. If we are under Dimension Shifter, it gets a little trickier because we would have had to have used the Dimension Shifter hard drawn after our opponent already has a graveyard, because we do need to snatch something up with the Charmers to get to enough material to make Selene. But if we do make the Selene, and the only thing in our graveyard is the Dimension Shifter, we can bring him back since he is a spellcaster, and then link off again into the Accesscode Talker. So something cool about this is Accesscode Talker doesn't care if the link material used for it gets banished or goes to the graveyard. He will still get the attack boost. And this also clears out our Dimension Shifter from graveyard if we have another one. The unfortunate part of this one is we don't have anything to banish to pay cost for Accesscode Talker except itself. So in theory, if you wanted to attack in and then blow something up, you could, but just something to consider when using this line. So one other way to get to Accesscode Talker, I personally can't do this in my build because I'm maining neither Effect Veiler nor Crystron Halki Fibrax. But what we can do is set up like we were going to go into a Nightmare Phoenix. So we'll use map, banish, normal summon, and then normal summon any tuner monster from our hand for our game mechanic normal summon. So now we link off into Crystron Halki Fibrax. Don't mind the different color sleeve, it's from another deck. Activate Halki Fibrax's effect, and this just turns into your standard Accesscode line. Get Effect Veiler. We do need the 3 spells, like we said before for Selene. Link off, and make the Selene. Detach the spell counters from her, and link off one more time into Accesscode Talker. The cool thing about this line, if you can do it in your specific build, is it does give us 1, 2, and potentially a third if you want to make Link Karibo first from one of the level, since everything is a level 1 essentially. We will have 3 pops with Accesscode in this version. So yeah, that is some cool extra deck plays that I didn't mention in the previous video because again, they're a little bit contingent on what your opponent has in their graveyard. If you don't have Selene or don't want to run Selene, you can jump straight to it with any of the Charmers, provided your opponent has a Link too. But doing it through Dark Charmer is usually the easiest since it's such a commonly played element. And again, all 3 of them are spellcasters, so once you make the Selene, you can just special summon them back and then go into a 5300 Accesscode Talker. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you learned something. Again, massive apologies for just kind of glancing over how to make Nightmare Phoenix in my previous video. Should have fully explained that, and I will remember to do so next time. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for even more, and I'll catch you all later.